Welcome to another episode of Get in Our Room. She's Kristin.
And she's Bobbi.
And this week we are going to try and convince you, the listener, and each other using one quote from a line of a book and convince you to read that book. It's going to be interesting.
I think it's doable. This is how TikTok gets me all the time. This is why my TBR has remained borderline untouched. It's because of one quote on one video that I'm like, well, gotta read that at 3 a.m.
Yep. So we wanted to do our spin on it in a bigger capacity. So Kristin and I each picked 3 books, and we made sure that each other had not read those books. And then we picked a quote. We did not have a length for that quote. Like it could be more than one sentence. It could be a paragraph. It could be a couple sentences. It could have been whatever. As long as it's like shorter than one page, because that's not a quote at that point. Or that's like something different. So
you could have just picked the back cover synopsis. I didn't pick a quote from the book. I just picked the synopsis on the back of the book.
You did? That's what you did?
No, but how funny would that have been?
So, before we jump into convincing you to read a book with one quote, we are going to chat really, really briefly about books that each of us are reading right now. And we have some news. There's been a bit of a situation in the Kindle Unlimited world that has come about this year, and I say probably the past 6 months, that we'd really like to cover. So, Kristin, before we jump into that, what are you reading right now?
Slowly but surely working my way through Crescent City, and I will say it is not the fault of Crescent City. I have just been very busy.
Yeah, I've been super busy too. I've barely read. I'm still at 86% of Tragic Bonds in the Bonds That Tie Us series, and maybe 3 chapters into Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And I know how busy our week is going to be this week, so I'm not actually sure any of that's going to change by next episode.
Be user manuals and stuff nobody wants to hear about that we read this week. How-tos.
Yep. With that, we're active in the Bookstagram and Book Talk community. We pay attention. We are both Kindle Unlimited users. And actually all 3 of my books today that I'm going to be discussing are on Kindle Unlimited. And I probably never would have read them, or never would have read them when I did without Kindle Unlimited. So let's take a step back, and I'd like to highlight some of the controversy that's happening right now. Last month in July, Kindle Unlimited paid out the lowest KDP that it has historically to authors. There is something called the KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing Global Fund. This fund, as of June 2023, the pot was $47 million. And
they come from, is that just from Kindle subscriptions, Kindle Unlimited subscriptions, or? So
I'm going to say yes, because I was trying to find out what dollars contribute to that fund, this collective pot that authors will get paid out of. The only thing I could find was people subscribing to it.
Yeah. Based
on the fund right now, Kindle Unlimited authors are authors that subscribe to posting and allowing their works of art to be in the Kindle Unlimited library that KU users like Kristin and myself and a vast majority of the community use to then read as many books as they want per month for the KU fee. On average, KU users read about 9 books per month, which I would agree with. Like Like, yeah, seriously.
Oh, I guess that's 2 books a week. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
That's kind of what I thought. Like right now, because life is busy, I haven't been reading that much. But last year, how do you think I read 84 books last year? There'd be no
So
way.
if we look at that, Kindle Unlimited is what, $12 a month? $12.80?
Something like that.
$12. So you're paying $1.30 for each book
Right. So
if you're reading 9 books.
yes.
So you have to read more than 12 books to start getting free books. Is that how that works? Less than $1 books.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I don't know if I'm getting my money's worth out of Kindle Unlimited.
I know right now I'm not.
Reevaluate that. Sorry. Tangent. Go ahead.
The other thing that I wanted to cover is that Kindle Unlimited users historically are more likely to review the books that they read than non-KU users, which is critical for authors to get their works out. Because you're reviewing on Amazon, but you can link your Amazon in your Goodreads review, so it also goes to Goodreads. That's what I do. So this really
TikTok, Instagram.
Yep. So this is how authors can get boosts and get, ratings on charts by people, rating them with stars and then reviewing them as well. Because those are 2 separate actions. You can do both, or you can just rate it by stars. KU users also tend to purchase outside of Kindle Unlimited as well. So they are more likely to purchase a book if it's not on Kindle Unlimited. So on top of their subscriptions, they're still purchasing. So there's still purchasing power being had there. In 2018, the KDP Select Global Fund paid out $267.9 million to authors. I just wanted to give some background and some perspective on how important Kindle readers are. Right? Kindle Unlimited readers are for authors by explaining that how many books we tend to read per month and our ability, our increased ability or desire, I should say, to rate and review books for authors. Kindle Direct Publishing is a very big avenue to help indie authors. The current controversy. Back in February of this year, of 2023, for a 300-page book, an author, because you get paid per page, and there's some algorithm involved there to make sure that people aren't making the font really big and increasing the page count. They have a Kindle normalized page size that helps. It's upon upload, it reviews it, and so that normalizes the page count, which is what tells the page number for the payment. So back in February, a 300-page book, an author would make $1.33 from you reading that book. In July of 2023,
the whole book, not per page, the whole book.
That's for the whole book, because the page rate right now is 0.00404 cents. It's low.
40% of a penny.
Basically. I'm very bad at percentages. Ask Jacob. In July, that for a 300-page book, that dropped down to $1.20. So the math, that quick math that you just did about our cost, and if we average 9 books, that $1.20, that's exactly what the authors are making right now, too. And that's if we read 9 books.
Well, so it's $1.20 if we read all 9 books.
Yep. The other thing is that...
Interesting.
Yep, and on KU...
And it's stupid that it's going down because the Kindle Unlimited fee is going up.
Yep, so we're gonna...
That's some bullshit.
We're gonna get there.
Oh, did I skip ahead?
No, there's no such thing. And, it's discussion. But, because back when KU first came out, it was $9.99. And so it's gone up over the years.
Oh, wow, only $9.99?
So...
Great.
Yeah, it's going up, right? So... The issue as of late is that there are more books becoming available on Kindle Unlimited. Part of that is authors, air quotes, if you're not watching this, the video portion, and you're just listening, I have air quotes, authors using AI to rate books and then publishing them on Kindle Unlimited, which has diluted the pool and is not helping, because the larger the pool on Kindle Unlimited, the more opportunity we have to read books. But that fund is, one pot. It's not changing at a rapid pace like the quantity of books available on Kindle Unlimited. So,
such a theoretical dilemma there.
Yes. I want to take a step back because I was looking and listening at the community this week, and there was a few people that I follow that said and they're authors, right? They're authors who are on KU. I wanted to share their perspective because there are some authors who are leaving Kindle Unlimited because of this issue, because they're just not making the money. And I totally respect that. I think authors need to do what makes the most sense for them. This is their livelihood. If I wasn't making money in an avenue that I was pursuing, or it wasn't the right amount of money for the effort and time involved, I would, I can appreciate that. I wouldn't stick around either and put my energy towards that. I would try and pivot, find something different, do something that helps me and my family. So
the other question, though, if they're leaving Kindle Unlimited, but remaining on Amazon on Kindle, there are no other ebook options, are there?
Not that I'm aware of. So, not that I'm aware of. I'm not sure what other options there are. If you are aware of an option, I think this would be a really great opportunity. If you could just leave a comment down below on the show, it would be really beneficial to share that with the community, because right now I'm not aware. The only thing that I'm aware of is for audiobooks. So instead of Audible, there's Libro FM, and it's akin to Audible, but it actually, you're purchasing the audiobook from a local bookstore technically, and you're listening like that. And it gives royalties to the bookstore, but it also helps support authors and so on and so forth. But I do not know of an ebook service.
Yeah, we need a disruptor in the market, huh? We need somebody to break up the Amazon Kindle Unlimited and give authors some options, and readers options on how to access these books.
Yep, I agree. So I wanted to...
Do you know how to make an app? We could do it.
I wanted to highlight some of the things that were pointed out by author C. Rochelle and Lauren Leisure. I want to start with C. Rochelle's post on Instagram, because she did a really good job of kind of laying out a couple different facts and some pointers. And her and I had a discussion as well on Instagram. And she provided some of the links that you're going to see in the description box that I pulled data from for the background on Kindle Unlimited in the KDP. So huge shout out to her for helping me understand what's happening in the community and voicing her thoughts, because I think it's extremely important that we as readers listen to the authors and support them in any way that we can, whether they're on KU or not, because without them, we wouldn't have books, and without us, they wouldn't make books. So this is a full circle, everybody's happy situation.
Symbiotic.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to link her post, or I'm going to link her page in the description as well. So if you'd like to go read her post in the comments, you can. But I just wanted to go through it pretty quickly. The bookage community is aflutter today, and rightfully so, because Kindle Unlimited page rate for last month was released and it's at an all-time low. As expected, this has resulted in more authors announcing they are pulling their books from KU. This is totally fine for those who are able to do this, but I wanted to jump in with some real talk and what my present/future plans are before readers start canceling KU in droves. Please don't. See below. She goes on to list 5 different topics or points. KU is still the majority of my Amazon related income. Not to mention, I like having my ebooks be accessible to readers in this way. So they will remain there unless things get much worse. While I have no intention of taking my ebooks out of KU anytime soon, I will be looking into direct sale, advanced copies, and additional platforms for my paperbacks, including Kickstarter special editions. Please remember that authors are only paid for the first read through in KU, and the Zon, Amazon, tracks how fast pages are flipped to detect supposed bot activity. So if you loved a book you got to test drive through KU, please consider buying the ebook once you are done, if it's within your means to do so, to throw some extra bones our way. Please do not cancel KU out of a well-intentioned but misguided belief that sticking it to the man, the Zon, will somehow help authors. It won't. If anything, it will make KU look less lucrative to the benzos in charge. This one is what screamed at me. If enough readers reach out to Amazon and complain that driving authors away from KU with low pay rates and exclusively contract results in a poor customer experience, they might start to listen. Maybe. One can hope. But I do know it's much more productive way to fight back than canceling. You can, and she has some links to her books, along with signed paperbacks in her bio. So if you're interested in her books, or see Rochelle, go check out her page, in her bio, in her link. If you have the means to do so, don't cancel KU, because it's just going to cause authors to have a harder time, because if people cancel in droves, that pot gets smaller, payout gets smaller. Lauren posted, I can't remember if it was a stories or a reel, but she posted explaining this is her main source of income as an indie author. And that is the same for a lot of indie authors. Consider that, before you cancel. The other thing that Rochelle wanted to highlight is that she isn't telling readers to not follow authors who are leaving KU. We need to support all authors' works to the best we can as readers in whatever form that makes sense for our position. KU, bookstores big and small, used books, word of mouth is super underrated. So even if you go to a thrift store and buy a book, but you fall in love with it, that the author's not going to get a contribution from that resale of their used copy. But what they do get is a new reader who fell in love, who's probably going to tell somebody about it, who's probably going to go to some other avenue to purchase that book. Don't stop buying books, and with social media and everything, word of mouth is super underrated. And I feel like the more conversation we put around books outside of the internet is valuable too. And back to her post in her point number 5, that she expresses, readers need to complain to Amazon. Readers need to say, hey, there needs to be something different, that something's gotta give, and something you can do, like she posted, is use language like poor customer experience, because that's going to start to get some attention. And you can actually email Andy Jassy, the newish CEO of Amazon. His email is ajazzy, AJASSY @amazon.com, and you can email him and express your feelings around your poor customer experience and your concerns around authors leaving Kindle Unlimited.
Probably mentioning the AI factor, right? Not necessarily banning books that are created with AI, but definitely having a tag or a category to show that it's 50, 70, just a percentage of whatever percentage AI was used to create the book, the cover art. Yep. And I'm sure we can talk about AI generated stuff all day, every day.
Yep.
And it's coming, and how do you fight it? And I think just a tag. I think if I were able to see that, this is an indie author on Kindle Unlimited, but 90% of the book was written using ChatGPT, I would not read it. Right?
Yep.
I would just scooch on past it. I don't want to read books that are AI written. I want to read real books.
Yes. Yeah.
So in your email, if you choose to email him, include separating out those AI books from, and forcing authors to admit how much AI they're using to write their books, for their cover art, for anything really. I want to know.
Yeah. I agree.
Speaking of AI books, and this is just kind of to piggyback on everything Bobbi talked about with, all of this Kindle Unlimited stuff. There is an author that is claiming that he wrote 97 books and counting this year using AI. He is spending anywheres from 6 to 8 hours per book. He has ChatGPT write most of it, and then he just edits a little bit. Uses AI to create cover art, and then and all of this takes him about 6 to 8 hours. Post it on Kindle Unlimited. The shortest one took him about 3 hours, he said. And so he's got 97 books out there. It took him about 6 months to get all 97, and he's made, he said, $2,000 off of all of it. That's not $2,000 per book. That's like his lump sum of $2,000.
And that's not cost.
If each book took him...
Because, like, depending on what chat GPT he's using, like, you have to purchase, like, a higher class one for certain stuff. And then if he's doing something like Midjourney for AI cover art, you have to purchase a subscription to that. And I think the subscription starts at $20 for the lowest one.
He's not even using it well.
Yeah.
Taking out, I didn't know you had to pay for those. So taking out those expenses, he's making like, and we'll just round to like 7 hours a book. He's only making $2 an hour.
That doesn't seem like a great return on investment.
And he's cheating. I don't know. Is AI cheating? He's cheating.
Not cheating well.
Yeah, he's not doing a great job. It's interesting though.
Very interesting.
That particular story makes me think that AI is either still in its infancy or it just isn't as creative as people yet.
Yeah, and I would be curious because in writing, it's really important to invoke emotion. And I just don't know how well something that can't truly feel emotions can write about them. And I think Lauren said something akin to that in her post about it as well.
I didn't have a link to this article, but there's a story circulating TikTok that if you are writing your thoughts, feelings, emotions, books, anything you're storing in Google Docs, Google is going to utilize that to better AI, better their AI, and create scripts, create books, and they're going to generate content off of your stolen ideas within their Google Docs. And that's how they're going to produce movies, books, and TV shows in the very near future. So they recommend that you take everything off of Google Docs if you're an author or journaling or writing in any capacity on there. Basically, they're saying don't use Google Docs.
Perfect. Because that's where my book currently hangs out. I am moving over to Readly, but wonderful.
Yeah, off of the Google.
Off of the Googs.
Now that we have thoroughly depressed everybody this week, Bobbi, what 3 books would you like to convince me and our readers to listen to, read? They might be audiobook listeners.
True. So, again, all 3 of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited. Do you want to do one for one, or do you want me to do all of mine first?
One for one. That's a great idea.
Yeah. All right. So, first book. And it is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Yarros. I don't highlight books a lot when I read on Kindle and stuff like that, unless it's like an epic fantasy, like Sarah J. Maas or Fourth Wing or something like that. Like, those are the ones that I normally am like annotating and highlighting and looking through with a closer eye. So normally when I read, I don't have that many highlights. In this book, in Divine Rivals, I had 61 highlights. I had so many because it is such a beautiful book. I I posted my Goodreads review on the Get in Our Room Instagram page, so go check that out. Divine Rivals. I don't know what page this is on. I don't know any of that stuff. This is just a quote from the book, y'all. He didn't answer, but his gaze held hers, and she thought she saw something flicker through him, like a star falling from the cosmos, or a coin underwater reflecting the sun. Something fierce and vulnerable and very unexpected.
Ooh, that is a lot of imagery. That, in that one single quote, man, that is...
I know, right?
All right. I think you got me. I think I'd read that book based on that quote.
Yes, it was so hard to choose just one. I struggled.
I know, how do you pick one out of 61?
I know. I was just like, oh, they're all so good. And it's so beautifully written. I basically explained it as a modern classical fantasy. Like, I don't know like how it's, because the language used in it was so beautiful, and the imagery reminded me of the classics, right? Where like the older English and unique ways of explaining things and tone, but it still is a fantasy book. It's so good. Highly recommend.
Is that just one book series? Is it an unfinished series?
I don't know how many books it's going to be. Let me look really quick, because there's going to be a second book, and it comes out December 26th of this year. It says book 2 of 2, Letters
December
of
27th.
6. I'm sorry. December 26th, 2023, book 2 of 2, Letters of Enchantment. It's called Ruthless Vows. Oh, I just got the title, I think. Well, I understand more about the title. Interesting. And the cover art of that one. Things are clicking.
All right, well, I'll start that one on December 27th then.
It's great for the holidays.
Post-holiday hangover.
Yeah.
All right, I think you got me with that one. Well, until I found out it was an unfinished series. I'm not ready to break my heart any more than I already have.
But I think it's a duology, so it should be finished soon.
All right, once you confirm that for me.
Okay.
My vote hinges on whether it is or is not a duology.
Perfect.
Okay, so for my quote, I went with a quote from the book We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Heaberlin. Heaberlin, I think is how you pronounce it. Now, I know we both read a lot of fantasy, a lot of romance. This is neither of those. This is a bit more of like a thriller, like a murder mystery thriller.
Ooh, cool.
So I would say this one's a lot different from anything we've ever talked about on here.
Okay.
And again, same as Bobbi, I didn't mark the page or anything. The hard thing about finding a quote for this book is that I felt like there was so much context needed around all of the quotes. Or like they just weren't as impactful without all of that other information. But I think I got a doozy for you.
I'm listening.
Loving dark men is a seesaw. They never tell you everything. You always wonder if that tiny red spot on the shirt is really from spaghetti dinner, like they claim, but then they put a bird back in a nest. They pull a drowning kid out of the water, and that's all it takes. The spaghetti is not blood.
I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued. I would probably read that. I want to read more thrillers, so that is actually perfect.
This is the book. I think I read the whole book in like a weekend, but this is the book that got me back into reading after my hiatus.
Very nice.
Of not reading for a long time. Couldn't put it down. Fucking loved it. Didn't see the ending coming. It was a beautifully done plot twist that I never saw coming.
Fuck yeah, I'm about that. I'm in, Julia. Add to DBR. There is.
All right.
Yes.
So far, we're tied 1-1.
Yep. Okay. You're just gonna hate me though. Okay, so
is this another unfinished series?
Shh. Kind of. So, River of Shadows by Karen Hall. There's 2 books out. The third book, City of Darkness, is out on October 23rd. So pretty soon. So River of Shadows is the first book, is rooted in Finnish mythology.
Ooh.
Yes.
Think about Finnish mythology.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I love mythology, and that's what got me to read this book. Got a one-liner for you. That's all you get. One line, one singular line. Do thick thighs save lives when you're talking about death?
Do love thick thighs. I mean, mine save my cell phone every time I go to the bathroom from falling in, so...
We love thick thighs over here. So that's part of why I chose. I was like, ooh, thick thighs.
And I save lives, I'm in.
I know the context too. And I'm gonna hint at the fact that death is capitalized.
So it's like somebody's name?
No, you're gonna have to read it.
No, seriously, you're gonna have to tell me because I'm never gonna put two and two together. Is it a moniker?
It's gonna be obvious. If you read it, it will be obvious. You'll put it together.
So it's his name.
I don't know. Read it.
All right.
It's his name.
I just want you to know.
It's his name.
The quote got me, but this little back and forth has me a little hesitant.
No, it's his name. I'm just giving you a hard time because I want to.
Also, for those of you at home, I'm looking up the word moniker because I don't know what that is. An antifungal medication. Cool.
I don't think that's right.
It's a nickname. It's a nickname or pet name for a person.
That's probably
If you
right.
spell it wrong, it's an antifungal medication.
The more you know.
Yeah, and spelling matters so much.
Truly, it does.
Yes, I would read that book, and now we all know what a moniker is. Okay, so for mine, I did not do just one line. I just feel like it needed more context than that. But this one is from The Bear and the Nightingale, which is the Winternight trilogy, and it is about Russian mythology.
Ooh, I love this.
So the biggest challenge in the book was trying to pronounce all of the Russian words, because obviously the author didn't spell them in Russian, because you never would have guessed, since their language is like literally different characters. But she spelled it out, I want to say phonetically, maybe, or maybe I was just guessing wrong and I said everything wrong. However, even being spelled phonetically, as you're reading through the words, you're like, those letters don't go next to each other. Like, how do I pronounce an S next to a Y? That makes no sense. But so I'm going to try to do my best to read this out loud. If anything, I apologize for all of my mispronunciations. And the author is Katherine Arden, and it's a trilogy. All my life, she said, I have been told, go and come. I am told how I will live, and I am told how I must die. I must be a man's servant and a mare for his pleasure, or I must hide myself behind walls and surrender my flesh to a cold, silent God. I would walk into the jaws of hell itself if it were a path of my own choosing. I would rather die tomorrow in the forest than live 100 years of the life appointed me.
I'm in. I'm full in. Wow. Yeah. Russian mythology. What a great quote. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm 100% in on that one. And I remember you talking about it a while back, and I was like, I need to get to that one. And I saw it at Barnes and Nobles, and I was like, I need to read that one. And I just have not gotten around to it yet. But now I'm like, my TBR is...
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, wow. Have you read the trilogy?
No, I got distracted with masochism.
Yep. Fair enough.
But I'm trying to get back to it. But yeah, I figured as soon as you saw somebody, I figured you'd like that quote.
Definitely.
Life on our own terms. Who doesn't want that?
Yep. Straight into the gates of hell. Hello, Satan. I'm nobody's puppet.
Well, unless you like Zaid Meadows or something.
And I haven't read that, so right over my head.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know if we know any of the same dark romance male main characters. Have we read any of the same ones? Are you a dark romance individual?
I don't know. I'm super big on enemies to lovers and rivals to lovers, but I haven't gotten none of them are super dark. The only one I can really think of that's probably dark-ish is Den of Vipers.
Den of Vipers?
Yeah.
The one I mispronounce constantly.
Yeah, that's why I was trying not to giggle when I was saying it, because I was like, oh, I just want to say it how she says it. Because hilarious.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. I'm glad I did go with one of those. But
the next one is a series. There's 5 books. The 5th book is a spinoff. First 4 ones are complete, technically. And
okay. All right. I'm in.
So the first book is Reckless Souls. It's Saints Academy #1 by Kean. No is a word I'm aware of. Fuck. I'm happy to take it as a full sentence without question on my end, but she's not giving it to me.
Boom. Sold. No further thoughts in my brain. I'm in.
It's a reverse harem too, Kristin. You're welcome.
All right. Sorry, TBR. We just got shuffled again.
And I would right now, Tragic Bonds, like I'm listening to that and I was thinking about this series as I'm listening to it. And it was funny because I was talking to my friend Ryan and she recommended Tragic Bonds series to me, or the Bonds that Tie Us series to me. And I told her I was finally like getting through it, and she's like, yeah, it's pretty unique. And I sent this to her and she's like, oh my gosh, I just finished one of Casey's other series and I already have this one on my Kindle ready to go. Yeah. And I was like, great minds think alike. I love us. We are so cool. This is awesome. So I think you'll enjoy it a lot too.
Thanks for just dropping that bomb on my TBR. I appreciate it.
It's a good read and it's not terribly it's not terribly hard either.
You just said it was reverse harem. I would expect that to be very hard. Yeah, floppy reverse harem. That's what we're all looking for.
Sorry, I set us all up for that. I set us all up for that. And no, Kristin, I ain't got time to mess around with your edits today. It's staying in.
Yeah. So I did go dark on this last one. I went with The Sinner by Shantel Tessier. This is dark. This is, I think it's a trilogy or more. But the great thing is, you don't have to read all of them. They're all standalones.
Oh, okay.
These are my favorite kinds of series where you get to know like the world and like the rules within the world, but you don't have to remember any of the players or any of the details from book to book. If it's important, she'll say it again.
Cool.
So if you're bad at details like me, this is the series for you. So this is from The Sinner. I want someone who makes me question my sanity. When I burn the world down and they ask me why, I'll tell them, the devil asked me to do it, and I wanted to make him proud. I'm willing to be her devil as much as she's willing to be my little demon.
Ooh. It does sound very dark. It sounds super dark.
It is.
It wouldn't go to the top of my list, but it would go on to my TBR list.
Yeah. These ones are rough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is a rough series.
Oh.
That's a lot. I wouldn't push these books on anybody. This is one of those where like, take it or leave it and decide real quick. Don't fight your way through it.
Okay.
If you thought Haunting Adeline was dark, just take a hard left straight away from these ones.
Oh, wow. See, I haven't even started that Haunting because I'm so on the fence about it.
Yeah. People love to hate on it, and that's totally fine. But this gets darker than that.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm so excited.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm excited because I want to read We Are All the Same in the Dark really bad. And The Bear and the Nightingale really bad. No.
It's a long trilogy, though, man. That's a super... The Bear and the Nightingale. That's a long one. I want to say it's 1,000 pages.
Oh, wow. I think I would... Maybe I'll add these to, like... Because I have some plans for making my way to... 2020, bringing in 2024, and that they end. Maybe I'll put these on a list to start reading in March of next year, because I'm trying to have my year kind of planned out and get through some things, because masochist, and the Crescent City 3 is coming out, and I'm doing a reread and stuff like that. It's gonna be brutal.
Looked it up, and I just have to correct myself. The Bear and the Nightingale is not that long. It's like 350 pages.
But the whole
it must have been 1,000. I think it was just 1,000 Kindle pages.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So anyways, it's actually not that long. It's less than 400 pages.
That's good. That's super good. Okay. Do you want to announce the thingy?
A big surprise coming up.
Yeah.
We got some big news coming around the bend. Turn on your little notification buttons because you don't know when it's going to drop. But you have to subscribe and find out. Follow our Instagram page. That's where news drops first, is Instagram.
Yep. Be on the lookout for it.
Might be some giveaways coming along with that big news. Might be... Who knows?
Gonna have to stick around and find out. So until next time, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to hearing from you. If you have some books with good one-liners, drop the title, the author, and the liner in the comments, and we're going to be very excited to hear what you have to say. Until then, make sure you check out the links in the bio and head over to see Rochelle's page if you want to see a little bit more about the Kindle KDP. Remember, support authors in any way that you can.